All right, Algebra 1A students. Welcome to part 2 of lesson 2.5. Today we're going to be talking about formulas, which are equations that involve multiple variables, but allow us to actually find some things in the real world, some values in the real world. Okay, so a formula is an equation that states a relationship among different quantities. Okay, special types of literal equations like we looked at yesterday. Okay, so here's a table of some common formulas, perimeter of some shapes, a couple area formulas, area of a rectangle, area of a triangle, area of a circle, distance, which is given as rate times time, basically speed times time, and then this temperature formula to go from degrees Celsius, which they use in other countries, to degrees Fahrenheit, which we use here in the United States. Okay, so all of these are formulas that relate two or more quantities, okay, and they give you the definitions of these variables. So I would like to see in your notes, please, these formulas written down, with the possible exception of this circumference of a circle formula. We do not need that one yet. But every other formula should be written down in your notes, okay? Perimeter, area, distance traveled, temperature, okay? So make sure those get in your notes. Pause the video and make sure those get in your notes. Then we'll look at the type of problem you'll see in your homework, okay? Or in your practice problems, excuse me. Okay, the type of question that we're going to see in our practice problems tomorrow are like this. What is the height of a triangle that has an area of 24 and a base with length 8? Okay, so obviously this is about a triangle. So the formula we have about a triangle that has something to do with the area of a triangle and the base and the height would be this formula right up here. Okay, hopefully we see that at the top of the screen there. Area equals 1/2, which I'll say 0.5, times base times height. Area equals 0.5 times base times height. Okay? Times base times height. Okay? So when we read a question like this, the questions in our practice problems are going to ask us for something. Okay? They're going to ask us for something. Here it's asking us for what is the height. So we don't know what the height is necessarily, but they want us to figure out the height. And they give us that the area is 24, right? So notice 24 should go in for the area. And then the base length is 8, so that should go in for base length of 8. So what our equation says then is 24 equals 0.5 times 8 times my height. Okay? My area, which is 24, equals 0.5 times 8 times my height. Okay, times 8 times my height. Well, this is now an equation that just has one missing piece, one variable piece, and we should be able to solve this for h. Okay, it's pretty easy to start out just multiplying the numbers. Notice that these numbers can certainly be multiplied together. 0.5 times 8. 0.5 times 8 equals 4. So this side really says 4 times h, and the other side equals 24. Okay, equals 24. 24 equals 4 times h. Now, h being multiplied by 4, to get h alone by itself and find what the actual height is, we need to divide both sides by 4 and cancel that out and divide this side by 4. Okay? And we end up with, in this case, h equaling 6. H equals 6. So the height is 6, and we would label that in inches because everything else has been in inches. 6 inches is our height. Okay? 6 inches is our height. We found that just by taking our area formula, plugging in the two numbers they gave us, and then multiplying them together and dividing. Okay? Let's take a look at this one. I'd like you to try this one yourself. Jonah is planting a rectangular garden. The perimeter of that garden is 120 yards, and the width is 20 yards. The question is, what is the length? Hopefully in your notes you already have the formula for perimeter, but I'll write it down for you. Capital P perimeter equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Okay? So they give you a perimeter, they give you a width, and they want you to find the length. Right? And these are being multiplied. 2 times length and 2 times width. So plug in what you know, find the value of the length, and then come back and I'll show you what we should get. Okay, when we plug in, we get 120 is equal to 2 times the length, which we don't know yet, plus 2 times the width, which is 20. 2 times 20 is 40. So we end up with this equation. Right? Then when we solve this equation for length by subtracting 40 and then dividing by 2, we end up at L equals 40. Okay, and this is yards, 40 yards. L equals 40 yards. Okay, so when we solve, we should get L equals 40 yards. That's our final answer. L equals 40 yards. And we found that again by just plugging in the 120 here, plugging in the 20 for the width, and solving for L. Okay. If you have questions about formulas and plugging values into formulas and solving for missing pieces, please make a note to ask me in class tomorrow. Otherwise, that's all I have for you. Have a wonderful night.